Greetings, my people. Yeah. Greetings, my people. Greetings, my people. Today is Wednesday, February 21st, 2024, 10:07 a.m. And this video is titled 221 Day. 221 Day in honor of my moms battling fighting off depression. And what do I mean when I say 221 Day? Today is my great mother. Today is my mother's Earth Day. She would have been 67 years old. And, the thing about like depression is I always say this, nobody wants to be depressed. First of all, let's say that. Nobody wants to be depressed. Nobody chooses or tell themselves they're depressed. As for me, at least I don't. As for me, it's a battle. And I think this is what we have to really understand. And like I always talk about, not minimizing what a person goes through, right? And I understand people. I understand your family and friends. Now, put up that barrier, but understand your family, your friends, your loved ones that try to get you through it. So a lot of times they just don't know what to say themselves, right? Let me fix my hoodie. They just don't know what to say themselves, right? So that's why they say a bunch of stuff like, they're in a better place. Don't let it get down to you. Don't let it get to you. Yada, yada, yada. The whole song and dance. Some now, don't get me wrong. Some of them can be insensitive. Some can be insensitive assholes, but most of them, they're coming from a place of love. They're coming from a place of wanting you to feel better. They themselves just don't know how to relate to that. But depression is a hard thing, and I always say this is why. I hope people find my videos, right? And they find my videos while I'm still here. Because a lot of times people's messages become jewels after they have transitioned or crossed over, right? So I don't know how long I got, but I'm gonna do my thing while I'm here. Do my thing while I'm here. And I call back. And one of the things about that, right, is the memories you're stuck with, right? Or the memory. This is why I wouldn't want to live forever without my people. Because I couldn't imagine living forever and watching all my people pass away and I'm just here. Because for me, I'm speaking on me and mine. What brings about mine is the memories. The times when I remember all of my family being here, right? And I've lost a lot of family members, right? So when we talk about things like abandonment issues, that's a host of them. I'm sorry, let me send this. Okay, finished. Abandonment issues. That's a host. That's a host of things. Because I know my moms, my brother, my pops. I know nobody wants to leave you or nobody wants to die unless they choose suicide. And even then, they were going through something that people just didn't understand. They were going through things that people just didn't understand. And they felt like within themselves that was the answer. So do we have to do a better job? I'm getting that we have to do a better job of understanding each other, right? Because sometimes people can be so dismissive. And I'm gonna harp on that. People can be so dismissive to a person's pain. And you don't know what that person is feeling on the inside. And because maybe you are strong, you want to force that other person to be strong. And that's the wrong way to handle people. We being brought into the Americas, no matter where you think you from, no matter if you think you here first, being my cat running through the house, being brought to these Americas did something to us. It did something to our minds. It did something to our spirit. It did something to our total essence, right? So we have to be more. We have to be more understanding of what was brought of what was put on us. And one thing we can't do is lose our compassion, right? And we can't lose our compassion for each other. And I want to talk about my moms. This is the best way I can honor her. Well, one of the best ways is because we're in such a times of we're in such this paradigm shift, and we're in this curve of hating the opposite sex. This is why it's kind of cringy to watch Monique, who I had a lot of respect for. Keyword had a lot of respect for. You can find some of my old videos, and I'm bigging her up and Sydney. I'm calling them Mr. and Mrs. This is why I had Miss and Mr. This is how much respect I had for them. But it's always cringe worthy to watch parents degrade their sons and daughters. Because the thing of it, when you grow up, my mom's name was Jacqueline. Everybody called her Miss Jackie. And like I said, I'm gonna say this time, not a perfect mother. I would always say to her, "Mom, you missed the mark on that marriage thing," but this parent thing, she got it down, and not even in a sense of she did everything right. She just didn't do a lot of things wrong. And not only did she not do a lot of things wrong, what I mean by that is she didn't take pride in doing things wrong, right? I had the type of mother that my brother and I were allowed to express however we wanted to, and we knew our boundaries. We knew our boundaries. We knew not how far to go with our moms, but she was a listening ear. And we went through some times. We went through some times where we didn't always get along. Her and I. I'm not gonna say didn't get along, but when I moved out, there was distance in our relationship. I'm young. I'm extremely young. So you go through these gradual stages, right? I went through these gradual stages of being a young man loving my mom, to not understanding, feeling like my brother was the favorite. Things I was able to come to her and tell her, feeling like my brother was the favorite. Feeling like, especially when he transitioned, that she lost and she died with him. And there's one thing to have those issues internally, but there's another when you're able to sit down with your parent or your mother, in my case, and express this. And they give you the real. She gave me how she did lose herself as my brother transitioned. My brother was like I don't want to say the golden child, but in a sense he was. And as far as like with her, I wasn't treated different. Now, for my grandmother and a whole nother read, that's a whole nother topic that we can discuss. But as far as my mom, Miss Jackie, she as I got older, our bond grew tighter. Our bond grew tighter. She became my best friend. I became hers, and still maintain that respect. Still not cursing around my mother. If I did, I'll say, pardon my French, mom. And she'll say, that's not French. And you say what you say, but still maintaining that level of respect. Still, when she call you, ma'am, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, still having that, because that's what the Bible say, or the church folks will say, train a child up and they never will part. I think that's what they say, right? But train a child up, and she did a great job. She did a great job as to how she developed certain things in me. it's always cringeworthy to watch parents abandon their children. Because I think and I say, man, my mom would never. My mom would never leave me hanging. My mom would never do XYZ. My mom would have never chosen a guy over us. My mom would have never allowed certain things to happen. And sometimes I think for those of us that had parents like that, we should really big them up because it wasn't until she passed away that I kind of got out of my naiveness or my naivete, however you want to use that word, because I was under the influence that under the impression that I'm not gonna say everybody, but a lot more people had the type of relationship with their mom that I did. And as you begin to talk to your peers and you begin to talk to your friends and just sometimes random people, you realize, wow, really? Wow. And that's when I really knew that I was assigned a special person. Because I don't believe in coincidences, right? I don't believe that just happened to be my mom, my pops just happened to be my pops, my brother happened to be my brother, my grandma. Everybody you meet is for a purpose. Every single person that you meet has a purpose. Now, the ones especially that grow with you, they're assigned to you. So having the type of mom I had assigned to me, having her to allow me to express myself as a grown man when I felt certain ways, or I felt neglected, or I felt confusion, it freed me. Because I think that's why a lot of people walk around with trauma from like relationships with parents, relationships with exes, relationships with whoever, because there was no closure or you never got the chance to express yourself and get the response that you need, if that makes sense what I'm saying. So having a mom that if I say, Mom, I felt like XYZ with you, sometimes she would be taken aback. But then we would talk about it. And the greatest honor, even though it was the saddest time, the greatest honor that I had was to take care of my mom. To be able to take care of my mom on her sick bed. Because for so much of my brother and I growing up, she was on top of it. If we had colds, if we were sick, doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, surgeries. I had a lot of surgeries growing up. I had a lot of surgeries on my legs and stuff growing up. And I have photos. I have photos of my childhood. And these are the stable. This is why I don't carry that. This is why I don't carry that low vibrational energy of how people are upset with women. This is why. And, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and her and I were saying that if there were two people that had the right to hate the opposite sex, it would be her and I. Because growing up with a condition, growing up with cerebral palsy, like I said, it had its good times. It still has its perks, Hell, I get top parking unless you people in my parking spots. It's just a little CP humor. But anyway, but no, it has its perks. But then it has its down days. And, to not be treated fairly, it does something to you, right? So, the way I've been treated, I would have all the right in the world to hate, but I refuse to. Number one, I refuse to because if I hate them, I hate myself. I don't care how y'all try to flip it. If I hate the Black woman, I hate myself because she's my other half. She's my left arm. She's my left arm. She's my left side. So you hate the left side of your body. Think about it like that. So by me having the type of relationship that I had with my moms, it shaped my view back. It shaped my view different. Because that's what we also got to understand too, that our realities aren't always the same. You know, what you experience, we all see the same world just through different eyes. That's my cat. We all see the same world just through different eyes, right? But in true unity, because first you got to get unified with yourself. And I'm not meaning like get your money right. I'm not, that goes into it. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I'm not one of the ones sit up here and talk about money doesn't matter. It matters. It matters. It freaking matters. But if your inside ain't right, it don't matter how much money you got, huh, Oprah Winfrey? It doesn't matter how much money you have. So we have to learn to stop chasing the external and start chasing and fixing the internal. Right? So even still at 42 years old, I'm still working through issues. I'm still working through shyness. I'm still working through how I feel about having cerebral palsy. I'm still, one of my closest friends, one of the best friends I have. Loved this brother and his wife. Loved them. Just great, again, great people that you were assigned to. And he often tells me, he said, bro, you could be an advocate, for people with cerebral palsy. You could do X, Y, Z. And I love that brother, and I appreciate that brother. And, what I say all the time is that, man, this is such a personal thing with my condition. There are barriers that I have to break within myself. Yeah, my cat using the little box. But there are barriers that I have to break within myself. There are emotional barriers that I have mentally. I mean, I said emotional. Mental barriers that I have that, how will I be perceived walking into a room? I'm still learning not to give a fuck. I'm still learning gradual. And, I'm learning to come toward that. I'm learning to come toward and tell. There are some people, some females that I don't even tell I have a condition sometimes. And a person that I knew one time, we were having these conversations, and she said, I think you should just tell women straight up. That's a slippery slope sometimes, even though, yes, but that's a slippery slope for me. Because sometimes by my intellect and me speaking so sharp, women have a tendency to love that, right? And I'm gonna get back to my moms, but women have the tendency to love my mentality, my intelligence. But when you tell them that, I have a disability, it's like, and then the ruminating thoughts of them start. They start thinking of all the things you can't do. They start thinking about how they're gonna have to caretake for you. They start, because there's a certain stigma, an image that comes with having disabilities. There's a certain level of helplessness that people think you have. Like I said, this is in the ups and downs. Now the ups is people offer me their seat when I come in the room. It'll be a full room and people will get up and allow me to sit down. I love that. But what I don't love is sometimes how, what I hate is when people come up, when people just meet me and they say, take your time. You ain't got to walk that fast. Shut up. I've been walking this way for 42 years, so I know my pace. But again, they're trying to help, much like in the grieving. They don't understand because that's not their reality. People that say, able-bodied people that say, well, we all have something wrong with us. True. Fact, bro, sis. Fact. But you are judged to a different standard when your flaw is visible. You get what I'm saying? You are judged at a different flaw when you're at a different standard when it's visible. Women automatically don't, are not interested or want to be your friend. Right? This is transparency. Like I said, I think we fake so much and we try to pretend, no, this is me. One thing about me, one thing about Obasi, one thing about Terry, one thing about whoever you know me as, is I've always spoken what I felt. Here come Monty. Here's Monty, y'all. Hey, Monty. This is, if mischief had a face, it would be this right here. Look, he's itching to get into something. Hold on, not right now, Monty. We'll play later, big boy. Such a fat guy. But Because I'm not a too cool for school guy, and I'm very strong. Very strong. I have pride. I have respect in myself. I have my limits, but at the same time, I'm still a real person. Because, in my opinion, whose opinion? My opinion, that it is your relatabilities that pull a person to you. If I feel like I can't relate to you, why in the heck would I listen to you? If you coming like you got life figured out, and the 1-2 bad days you had, you fixed them just like that, why the freak do I want to listen to you? You can't relate. You solve life. Now, that's not saying I want somebody that's down, get back to my mama, but this, what you hear my mom. Because, she protected. I was sheltered. She protected us. But at the same time, she also let me go. She also knew she couldn't protect me. That world outside that door, that world tear your ass up. I didn't get introduced to real life to after I moved out my mom's house. After I separated with my son's mom, then real life kicked in. And I would call moms and we would conversate about these things. And my mom had the most calm, most soothing voice. She always knew what to say. And she'll say, "Have I ever lied to you, baby?" "No, ma'am." "All right, then." That's what you miss. That's what you miss when somebody that you love has transitioned. It's not that you just being selfish and mourning them. You mourning what you lost. Because I don't care what it is. For most of the time, nobody gonna love you like moms. I tell my son all the time, man, you be lucky for your moms. Because Pop love, I love my son. I'm a parent. My son is with me. So, but a mother's love and a father's love is different. Right? Just different. Not better, not worse. As far as my son, mom, and our love is different. But I'm able to be a father because of this kind of mother that I had. I'm able to love women because I was able to love my mom. My mom was able to love me. Now, relationship, romantically wise, I haven't had success. I haven't known that type of love because of some of those factors that I named. This fickle and shallow world and the fickleness, which my moms would always tell me. She'd say, "Women are fickle, son." And it was that insight. It's that insight that I miss. I got an up and down relationship with Killer Mike, but his song "Motherless," when I first heard it, that song hit me. Allow them tears to go. Because we feel like we have to. This is what I learned in therapy. That she said, stop policing your emotions. Stop acting like you have to give yourself permission to feel. You don't have to give yourself permission to feel. And that's what, when she told me that, it was like and that's what the sound it made. But it was like something had unlocked. So it's kind of like a toss up because sometimes being in solitude makes strength and character, but sometimes it's lonely. Even though I don't roll in the circles like I used to, I'm not understood. And I'm not gonna pretend. There's a lot of people that just don't freaking like me. There's a lot of people that I know around me personally that don't like me. But what it is, sometimes that's why I said having this disability, it has its highs and it has its lows. Because the highs allowed me to be in solitude. Because growing up, children treat you different. Something that I still go through that I don't think I'll ever get rid of is when I was a child, to me being a teenager, to even now, little children saying, "Why you walk like that? Why you walk like that?" And still to this day, that's an emotion that I have to heal. That is a feeling that I have to get through in therapy. Right? And a lot of times, this is why I make my content for me. Because so much we so busy trying to wow the people. That ain't what it, for me. For who? For me. That's not what it's about. That if I'm not happy, do you know how many miserable, mentally ill people are dropping knowledge to y'all? Huh, you, Mark Johnson? Do you know how many mentally ill people out here telling you to hit them cash apps and taking your money and giving you stuff because they say they have, but they really ain't dealt with them? They read a lot of books. They know how to articulate, but they insides is effed up. Not me. Not Miss Jackie's son. I can't run game on my people. I wasn't raised like that. So that's why I said the people around me, guess what? They got me twisted because I speak my mind. Because I call somebody a handkerchief head Negro. Because I kick up dust and I spit fire when I feel. But stuff like this, they don't know the intimate. They don't really know me. These folks don't even really know you because you still learning you. Right? Forgive, if you can. Please listen to me careful on this. If you can, forgive your parents. If. I'm saying go dredge up nothing that you know is a closed chapter. But if your pops didn't understand how to be a father, talk to him. If he's still with you, talk to him. If you can't, then talk to him from a distance. Feed him with a long-handled spoon, as my mom used to say. Forgive your mother if you can, if she's willing. Don't just forgive no foolishness now. Because parenthood is hard. Which is why I'm not judging Monique, but I'm judging what she's doing. I'm using my judgment. I'm using my judgment. We use judgment every day. People got you so twisted talking about don't judge. Man, people judge every day. I'm one of the most judged people. So when I use my judgment and I judge back, don't look at me like I'm wrong. But we have to understand that people are people. People are learning. How you gonna trash single mothers if you was raised by a single mother? Y'all stop this goofy stuff. How have y'all turned and started saying, you know what's crazy that y'all dudes is doing, that y'all nigglets are doing? Not only are y'all condoning not dealing with single mothers, and I'm not gonna say y'all advocate leaving children. I'm not gonna say that, even though you ain't advocating getting with them or taking care of them. But y'all disrespect single mothers, right? And then forbid dudes to take care of them. You say you a simp, only a simp will take care or be a stepfather. Are y'all really listening to yourselves? Because this is the circle that I be talking about. This is the circle of shit, right? And I gotta say it like that, the circle of shit. Because we complain and we hate our reflections, right? We hate the nigga essence that we've been turned to. We hate the degenerates that we've turned to. We hate the pound town dancing, foot shuffling mofos we done became, right? So why wouldn't you help a youth break that? If you know she's solid, if she what? Solid. If you know she's solid, why not help out? If you know young men and young women are growing up fatherless, why not be there? You see how this system got y'all twisted? And I'm gonna start talking about this. I don't know if it's today because I'm just celebrating and talking about my mom today. But I'm gonna talk about something about like engineering consent. Right? Engineering consent. I think that's the name of it. Let me double check because I always want to be correct. I'm never going to intentionally, listen to what I'm saying. I'm never going to intentionally engineering consent. Put out false information, bogus information, misinformation. Never gonna intentionally or willingly do that. That ain't how you roll. But we have to understand that word right there, engineering consent. So when we hate the condition of our people, we have to understand how they became conditioned. So a lot of what my mom's went through, in order for her to still be the loving person that she was, freaking amazing. Taking care of son with special needs. Now I wasn't just kind of like helpless, like some children you may see with cerebral palsy. I wasn't like that. I was always independent. I always have had a sense of independence about myself, but still, that's hard. Do we even talk about mothers with children with special needs? Do you know how challenging and hard that is? So this is why I give big ups, I give honor, I give respect and love to my mom because of the things she did, and she knew she had to do it. You know, she never complained, which is why when she was on her deathbed, I never complained. If she wanted me to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to make her a sandwich, only for her to take one bite, and I would joke and fuss at her about that all the time. I would make a sandwich and she would take 1 or 2 bites and be like, I'm good. And I was like, Mom. But I loved it because that's what she would have did for me. So I just, instead of me sinking and going low, this video is open, but it's not meant to be deep. It's not meant to be the hypotenuse or the circumference or the frontal lobe. It's not that. Sometimes you got to speak from here. Stop trying to be so technical. Love the women that you got. If you got some worth something women, and you should be able to discern that. If you got some worth something women in your life, appreciate them. Don't listen to this crap and don't listen to this booty chatter and you always sitting up here telling somebody what they doing wrong. If she doing good, tell her. If she's righteous and she loving on you, hug her. If your mother made errors and she wants to make amends, make them. You know? And that's all I'm going to say today. I'm probably going to come back with something, but I appreciate y'all listening. Hit the likes. Let me know if you like it. Peace.